welcome everybody to Prosperous, technically our first podcast. The Prosper Brief is being launched, and we're launching it in connection with the Prosper Forum coming up here at the end of August 2024. And I've got the founders and executive team here with me today from Prosper, Hattie Hill, Luke Kircher, and David Jobe. And we just wanted to do a quick introduction to Prosper and the podcast and what the event coming up here in August 2024 is all about. So let's start off with David. What is Prosper? What is it? What does it mean
thank
to
you
you?
very much, Anthony. And I just cannot express enough gratitude for just the opportunity that we've had to put together the Prosper Forum. And really, the Prosper Forum is about trying to impact this great industry of ours that those of us on the phone, we've been involved, in this great food service hospitality industry for, probably 50 years between the three of us. So I don't think there's a better industry in the world. The fact of the matter is we employ everybody and everybody has to eat. So our whole idea was really about how can we elevate this great industry? Is there a way that we can build a better table, right? A better table meaning it's only a better table if it's better business. In our industry that we employ everybody and everybody has to eat, the power to connect people through food, right? A better table for better business means better lives and a better world. And our industry, I think, has immense opportunities for the world. And what we're trying to do is to bring together a group of current leaders with this next generation of leaders to elevate this industry. How do we build a better table, right? Well, the key is to have current leaders with the next generation of leaders together by invitation, very intentionally, very deliberately, right? To come together to create a better table and better world and better lives for everybody. So we're really proud that we've had the opportunity, over 2 years here. It seems like it's been, 20 years of bringing people together, but a lot of relational capital, a lot of time in this industry between Hattie and Luke and myself, that we're just very grateful that this idea of bringing current leaders and next generation of leaders together has been met with such enthusiasm and, quite frankly, the participation. So the Prosper Forum is about a more prosperous and just world. That's our vision and our mission to try and make that happen. And today we're not trying, it's happening. We have over $1 trillion that's represented here in the next week on Amelia Island. We have over 770 attendees by invitation, right? Very deliberate, very intentional about trying to bring the current leaders with the next generation together. So it's happening, and we are just super, super grateful and feel real fortunate, to be able to welcome a whole bunch of leaders here next week to Amelia Island at the Ritz-Carlton.
And, with that, I want to ask Hattie and Luke, why should someone attend the forum? What's in it for the executives attending?
I appreciate that, Anthony, and thank you for hosting us today. We look to address the biggest issues facing our industry. We want to drive strong connections with our fellow leaders, and we, in a particular way, want to identify, recognize, and lift the next generation of diverse talent, provide them access to connect with each other, as well as spotlight the access for talent with our industry leaders.
Hattie, do you have anything to add to that? Why would you recommend somebody attend the forum coming up here August 25th to the 28th?
Oh, thank you, Anthony. I appreciate you having me because it is the hottest ticket in town. That's why they should attend. Here's what happens especially when you start looking for diverse talent. There's an assumption that there's not enough people out there. They may not be in our industry, but they're in other industries. So you want to be at the conference, you want to build community, you want to make connections, because our industry is in a fight for talent, and that talent will be in Amelia Island at the end of the month.
Great. Great. Let's talk a little bit about the content. Luke, what are some of the highlights for the speakers that we're going to see and some of the other content happening at the forum?
Absolutely. And this forum is really about creating a space for humanity, right? And we need to bring humanity back to business. And so there's a few things that you're going to hear about. Everything that we do is intentional. The people, the relationships, the content, the structure, the experience that you're going to receive while you're there, and most importantly, the outcomes. And this is content that you're not going to get or see anywhere else. Everyone thinks that the content is what is happening just on stage. That's not the case. The best content is what's happening with these individuals that we collectively curate together to bring them together in this environment. And there's a few themes that you're going to hear throughout the event this year. One is intentionality, being intentional. Another that you're going to hear is innovation. And the third that you're going to hear a lot of is around transformation. We're in a transformative period in our businesses, and this is a crucial time for us to continue to develop and grow. We have 5 pillars that we build all of our content around, and we focus on a best content wins approach. So with that, the curated content for this program is really geared more towards a C-suite board Davos level conversations. We want to bring the best thought leaders together to have and shape the industry for the years to come. One of the ways that we do that is we're intentional about the content and the design. So how do we live our lives as individuals, as executives, as leaders in our community? How are we impacting society? What examples are we setting for our families, for our children, et cetera? We have a history of this, but we are going to be opening up the conference this year with a story from Michael Beecham and Allison Beecham. And, it's a powerful story about their young child and both of them being executives and leaders in our industry. And how do we prioritize and balance the demands of life and being, running large organizations at the same time having, the needs of a child. They spent 75 days in the hospital, taking care of and focused and nurturing and preserving and working with the doctors around that. It is a tremendous story of overcoming and perseverance and determination. But even more so, it's a great example for us as leaders. How do we look at and evaluate where we spend our time? How do we look at what we put our focus towards? And that's the first 60 minutes of the conference right there, and that's where we start from. So we encourage that level of honesty and vulnerability in the conversation and the dialogues that we have. Hattie, you want to add a few as well?
Oh, sure. As you know, our Prosper Accelerator community in their organizations, they're selected by their CEO, C-suite to attend this session and be a part of the cohort. And so one of our main speakers is Cent Marshall, who has a book called You've Been Chosen. And as many of you know, she is the CEO of the Dallas Mavericks. She's the first woman of color, African-American female, head of an NBA team, the amazing Dallas Mavericks. But also she's coming to tell her corporate story as she was an executive in AT&T for many years, and also understanding the challenges that she's faced as a woman and as an African American. So we want to offer role models that will give strategic tools and techniques that our attendees can take away, because when you have been chosen by your organization to be in this room, you're in the right room.
And you mentioned the Prosper Accelerator program. Hattie, what advice do you have? A brief overview for what the Accelerator program, for those that might not know about the program, and what do you recommend for the accelerators that are coming to the forum maybe for the first time this year?
Awesome. So as I was talking about the content, because I did want to mention our supplier diversity program, because that's a first launch this year. We've been very intentional about offering a business case around supplier diversity. We will be partnering with Cisco to bring a small business owner, African-American female, Mama Laverne's Chicken and Waffles. And so we're offering tools and techniques. So whether you're an accelerator or you're from leading in one of the companies, you want to come with strategies and looking at how can I apply this to my business? How can I apply a best practice that's going to help us to be more successful? Because if you think of it, the best ideas tend to come out of small business. So we launched the Prosper Accelerator program so we could learn what needs to happen to help diverse talent promote, elevate into C-suite roles in the industry. So we're totally focused on that. Our goal was 100 per year for 10 years. So we would seed 1,000 people of color, next gen leaders into the industry. We're already over that because he likes to exceed his goals. So we had 103 the first year. I think we're at 124, 126. Luke, what is it this year?
126 this year.
126. But the accelerator program, what I think is so special, and this is important, Anthony, as we think about it, often women and people of color in their organizations, when they walk around a table, they're the only person at that table who looks like them. And so they often feel isolated. It's not always comfortable, and they're looking for community. So, because this group has been curated by their organizations, they will become a part of this community that will last them, it could last through their career, through their lives. So, it gives you community, it gives you network, it gives you tools and strategies. As I said, it's a 24-month program, but once you're into the community, you will remain in the community going forward.
That's great. So just to wrap it up, I know we're on a tight time schedule, but just to go around to the three of you, what should the attendees know before coming this year? Hattie, I'll start off with you.
I would tell you, here's what you should think about before you show up in Amelia Island in a few days. Is number one, be open. Very often, especially people of color, have been in situations where they feel closed off, they feel isolated, they feel like they can't bring their whole self. You have been chosen to be in this room. So come in, be open to authentic connections, be open to building relationships, be open to learning new ideas and strategies that you can implement once you go back into your organization. And more importantly, be open to let other people make mistakes, help them listen and learn, and then realize you can just really have fun being a leader and getting through all of the noise that's out there in our communities today. Let this be a fun learning for you.
Great. Luke, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to actually piggyback off of something Hattie mentioned just to kind of drive the message again. You have the opportunity in this environment to build relationships that could last 3 days, 3 years, or 30 years of your career. The investment in yourself, your career, your community, be intentional about that. Have a game plan going into it. Know who you're looking to connect with. We've got an incredible community of, 3-to-1 operator to supplier partner ratio. There's nothing like it in the industry. And we're just so grateful for everybody's commitment to be engaged throughout this entire program that we have together.
Great. And David, I'll wrap it up with you. What should attendees know before they attend the forum?
Thank you, Anthony. And here's the number one thing I would say is congratulations on making a great decision. This Prosper Forum, this Prosper community, we are deliberate, we are intentional. This is fundamental, this is foundation. We work very, very hard to reach out to you, the attendees of the Prosper Forum. Yeah, we have over 700 people. Yes, the ratio is 3-to-1 operator to supplier. There's no event in the industry that comes even close to having more operators there than there are suppliers. That's by intention. So it's a great decision for anybody that's coming because you're part of a unique community. You're part of a group of transformative leaders and influencers today, and most importantly for tomorrow. And as Luke and Hattie mentioned on the content, we have the best unprecedented content of any event in the world, we believe, because the real content, the vital content, the most important content of any event, any conference, especially the Prosper Forum, is you. It's the people that are attending this event. And everything is about a relationship. Everything. That's proven. There's all kinds of statistics. Well, to build relationships, it takes time. Relationships are built on trust. Trust is a function of time. What we're doing is deliberately bringing you, the attendees of the Prosper Forum, together to develop relationships, to spend 3 days to do what would normally take 3 years or 30 years. And the powerful, influential group that we have together, we just know that that's the foundation for building a better table, for better business, for better lives, for a better world. So as Luke mentioned, and Hattie too, and Anthony, you're a part of what we're doing here. We are exceptionally grateful. We're honored. We have worked really, really hard to attract and bring you this incredible content, this incredible group of people. And just being together, we will make a positive impact. We will build a better table. It's better business. It's better lives. It's a better world in this great industry of ours. So thank you very much.
Yep, that's awesome. Thank you all, Hattie, Luke, and David, for your time setting up the forum, explaining that. For people that can attend, it is a sold-out event. We are launching the podcast. Hattie Hill and St. Marshall will be sitting down for an interview on the podcast. We'll be rolling that content out, maybe some of it during the conference on the podcast and then after the conference. So subscribe to the podcast, and that's a good way to stay in tuned and learn more about the forum and hear about some of the content that's taking place at the forum. But I'm looking forward to seeing all three of you just in a few days here at Amelia Island, and I really appreciate your time today.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Anthony, for hosting. We look forward to seeing each of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.